Hey everyone, I'm Alison from Petite Mail and I'm back today making this video. I wanted to share some of my tips on how I have simplified at home to be more eco-conscious, environmentally friendly. So these are some really simple tips, things that I have started off with, things that I think make it really easy to make a change and be better for the environment. So the first thing that I want to show you is I have switched to using a bamboo toothbrush. And this particular toothbrush is by Brush Naked. And I also have the bamboo Brush Naked travel case. So I read somewhere that every toothbrush we have ever used is out there floating around or lying around in the world. And for some reason that just really struck me. Every plastic toothbrush we have ever used is out there. And that's just toothbrushes. So bamboo toothbrushes are better for the environment, and they break down and decompose faster than plastic. So I'm really happy with my bamboo toothbrush. So that's a really, really simple change that I've made at home that's making me feel good. Another thing that I have started doing is being much more attentive to fast fashion and slow fashion. So I have pretty much, for the most part, stopped purchasing fast fashion clothing. So what I do is I research my clothes. I purchase things that are made in my home country or in North America, or that show their processes of their factories and how their clothing is made. I'm looking for quality products. I've also started purchasing clothing primarily from consignment boutiques. So a lot of my clothing is not brand new. And I absolutely love that. It's fun to find things that are new and different to you, and it costs less and it's better for the environment. So I've started being really very mindful about what clothing I purchase and where the clothing that I purchase comes from, and I'm not changing out my clothing every season. I've got kind of like a capsule wardrobe, and that I'm sort of sticking with that. Another thing that I've started doing that I'm loving is I have started making my own household cleaners. This is so much easier than it seems. I started having a real problem with all of the chemical smells that were coming from these cleaners that we were buying. It just really bothered me. Like, even sometimes my husband would clean, and that's so exciting. He would clean and I would come home and the house just reeked of chemicals. So I've started making my own multi-purpose cleaner that I use for cleaning bathrooms, for like dusting surfaces, and for other sorts of things. So I will provide a link to the recipe or some of the recipes that I use, but I use this Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile soap to make my homemade cleaner, and it is fantastic and very cost effective as well. So kind of a win-win there. I've also started, I had these two really big bags of clothing that wasn't really good enough to give away. So I didn't feel like I could pass it on to somebody because it was ripped or stained, but I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't throw it away. So I have taken a lot of my clothing or old clothing and turned it into rags that I'm using in the kitchen instead of paper towels. So I'm really trying to cut down on our paper towel use, and instead of just grabbing a paper towel every time there's a spill, I'm using these rags that I keep in a basket underneath the kitchen cupboard or the kitchen sink. And so that's giving more life to fabrics that really don't have any other purpose. I also just wanted to talk about, while we're talking about clothes, this is my last tip for today. I don't know about you, but for anyone who has children, my son is very rough on his clothing. He is almost 3. So this is a pair of his pants that came out of the dryer the other day with a huge rip in the knees. I'll be honest, I don't really have a whole lot of free time for sewing and fixing clothing, so I have ordered iron-on patches for the knees or elbows of his clothes, and I ordered a pack of 6, so I'll be able to do 3 pairs. They're really bright, colorful, rectangular patches, so that should kind of make his pants a little bit funky, fun, and it should help us get a little bit more life out of his pants as well, so that I don't have to go and buy new clothing for him, which is fantastic. So I'm really simplifying and saving money there as well. I will put some links down below to things that I talked about today that you might be interested in. Feel free to leave a comment or like this video if this was helpful to you, and I will see you next time.